Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Meredith E. Phillips and I have a lot to catch you up on. There's a lot going on. If you're new around here though, like I said, my name is Meredith and I write Regency romance. My debut novel is coming out next spring with Dell. It's called A Rogue's Guide to Winning a Wife, and I have things happening with that book that I can't tell you about yet, but that you should know about very soon. I know I keep saying soon because that's what I truly believe in my heart of hearts, and it just keeps not being soon, but it really will be soon because yesterday I got things in my inbox, very pretty, colorful things that I was making very high-pitched noises about. It should be soon. So if you want to be the first to know all of the updates, see all of the things, then you do need to sign up for my newsletter. I'll put a little link for that in the description. I'm not spamming my newsletter, folks. It's just for updates and like first looks, extended snippets of things. So go sign up for that if you're interested. But for today and for the next couple days, we're just gonna panic a little bit. Since A Rogue's Guide to Winning a Wife is basically done in terms of me working on the book itself, I am now working on book 2. I had a 2-book deal. The first book, like I said, comes out spring 2027. The second book will come out in spring 2028. I have outlined the book. I have first drafted the book. I have done a second draft of the book, and my critique partner has looked at that second draft and she has said, there's a few issues here. And I said, surprise Pikachu face, what are you talking about? You were supposed to tell me it was perfect. She did not tell me it was perfect, which I feel is a betrayal of our friendship, but she did have some good points, I have to admit. And there's things that I also knew were like issues. So I got her feedback yesterday and I was kind of just like sitting with it and then like mildly panicking. You know how it goes. I feel like, okay, I just have so much to do. The last couple weeks, I didn't have a vlog last week because I was sitting here doing brainstorming for a project I can't tell you about. I need to continue working on that secret project. There's another project I also should be doing something with in terms of like progressing things to a point where it could be seen by other human beings. But the big priority right now is getting this book 2 into shape so that I can send it to my editor by October 1st. And in your brain, you're probably like, October 1st? That's like forever from now. She's got plenty of time. But the thing is, like, it's not really that far from now. It's about 2.5 months from now. The book is in draft 2 format, and I need it to be farther along than that before I hand it over to my editor. There are still some like big picture issues with it, and I'm just like the timetable on this is so smushed, and I'm just you know I'm a little anxious about it all. I decided to just give myself a deadline for draft 3 of August 14th, which is exactly a month from now. It is July 14th currently. I don't know if that's realistic at all. Right now that feels a little crazy because thinking about like all the stuff I'm gonna try to do, I'm like, do you have time for this? I don't know how you're gonna do all this. I'm already thinking about like, can I take some extra days off from work to have like extra days? So the plan is finish draft 3. I have another person who I've been in contact with and is going to read it for me, and I'm excited to have her read it because she has not read book 1. And I very much want book 2 to stand on its own. So if readers were like maybe not interested in book 1, but book 2 sounds fun, I don't want them to feel like, oh, I've got to read book 1 to get book 2, you know? So anyway, I'm excited for her to read it. I have to though, here's the thing. If I finish this draft in a month on August 14th and send it to this other person, she needs time to actually read it, form some thoughts, and tell me the thoughts. At least 2 or 3 weeks. That puts me at the beginning of September. And it's due to my editor October 1st. We might as well just say September 30th, you know. So then I'd have less than a month, potentially, to take that new person's feedback, implement it, polish things up a bit, and then send it to my editor, which sounds very smushed. I was also wanting to send this to my agent at some point. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do that because then she would have to have time to read it also. I could maybe send her draft 3 at the same time I send it to this other person, but I don't know if that's going to be enough time for her to like read it and give me feedback, because I'm pretty sure that's when her day job is going to like bump up in terms of busyness. Anyway, so there's a lot happening and I have a lot of work to do. I'm excited to dive into draft 3. I was trying to make a little checklist this morning, which I don't know how much of that you could actually see in the little montage video, but what I've got so far is this, back again with everyone's favorite kind of checklist. I don't think that every single chapter is going to need some like major overhaul, but I'm going to have to go through every chapter to do something. I don't know. So what I need to do first is make a plan. I mean, I have a checklist, but I don't have an actual plan. So what I'd like to do for the next 3 days, today's Tuesday the 14th, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I want to take all of the various things that my critique partner said, a couple extra things that I've been thinking, and kind of go through and make some sort of like actual plan of like, okay, in this chapter, we need to change these elements. We need to change this whole thing over here. Like, it just needs to be more organized, because right now I've got like a bullet point list of a few things, but there's question of like, there's a bunch of things on the bullet point list that are like, rethink how this works, reconsider this aspect, fix this thing, change this aspect of the backstory. Like, it's a bunch of things that need to be brainstormed. I've been brainstorming, like I said, for that other secret project. I feel brainstorming is hard. I don't like it, honestly. It's just like, I don't know. Someone just tell me how it's supposed to go. But I do need to brainstorm some extra things for this story. So that's what I'm going to try to do over the next 3 days. I also am somehow going to have this video ready for you on Friday. I don't know. Good luck to me. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be working on. My schedule here says that I need to revise chapter 1 on Friday the 17th. That is due Friday the 17th. Chapter 1, I think, well, anyway, we'll get into all that later. But today, the name of the game is brainstorming and trying to address specifically how I'm going to fix certain issues. So I'll be back a little later to start working on that. I also am going to show you my Scrivener setup. I know I've shown that at various points in the past, but I always like seeing how other people have it set up, and I don't think I've done that for a little while, so I'll show you how I have it in case that's of any interest, but we'll get to that later. For now, I need to actually go to my day job. It's all like rainy and gross outside today. Anyway, I'll see you later. All right, it is sometime later, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I have my Scrivener document set up. So let me get this going. All right, so I like having one Scrivener file for an entire project. All of my drafts, all of my previous drafts of this book are in this same file. So all I do when I'm done with a draft, here's draft 2, all of the different scenes are in this draft 2 folder. If you right click it, you can say duplicate and it just copies the entire folder, and you can rename it as draft 3 or, you know, whatever your next draft is going to be. So that's what I've got here. And if you open the folder, of course, all of the various little chapters are in here. I decided to put my critique partner's notes in a separate little folder or separate little document here at the top. I had some different questions for her, and I went through and kind of highlighted what I thought were like, oh, because some of what she has in here is like, oh, I liked this part, or this was good, or whatever. Thank you so much. And so that's good to know, but I don't need to like do anything with that feedback necessarily, other than like don't delete that stuff. But then there were other things where she was like, maybe tweak this didn't work for me, whatever. So I went through and I highlighted the pieces that were like, so address this issue here. So I've got that. Then this is where I kind of need to still be like organizing myself. Over on the side in the notes, I have a summary of the highlighted bits from here. Just a bullet point list of like, here's all the stuff she said that she had issues with. And I've highlighted there the things that I feel like are bigger picture. I need to do some brainstorming about like, how do I fix this? Some of the things that are on this bullet point list are slightly like smaller, or like it's constrained within the scene, or like make something more clear. So those kind of things I'll probably put into the actual chapters. Here's chapter 1. I went through and I deleted, in draft 2, I had a whole bunch of bullet point notes here on the side in each chapter detailing like what to change in the chapter. So I deleted the notes that I had addressed. There were some that were still kind of lingering, like, I don't know if I really want to do anything with this. If it was a lingering note, I just left it. And what I'll probably do is add in, if she had specific notes for like specific scenes, I'll add those notes in here because it's really just something I have to pay attention to while I'm working through this one scene. I still have all my other stuff down here in terms of like the original outline, scene by scene breakdown, a timeline of the story locations, because this is so important. How far is everything from each other? All of my various character notes and all that kind of stuff. So, and then down here is where I have like the drafts 1 and 2. I've got a whole big thing here with historical notes that have just a lot of copy pasted links to various bits of information and some notes that I've taken from craft books. I don't reference this a whole lot, but it's just been in here forever and it's probably going to just stay there. So that's how I have my Scrivener document set up. It's not very fancy, but it works really well for me. And yeah, so I'm probably going to go through now and try to do a little bit of brainstorming on at least some of these items. So a little more organizing, and I'll be back sometime later to chat. My dog starts drinking water as soon as I press the record button. Perfect. All right, it's after work. We are in the acute avoidance stage here. I have sat at my computer and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with, like, how do I do this? Part of me is like, you know what? You wrote that whole book in about 5 weeks. You could just rewrite it from scratch in the next month. Like, you could do that. You could do it. I don't know how that would help me. I reread the first, like, 2-3 chapters. And part of me is like, I love it. But I can also see, like, the issues. And I'm just like, ugh. Like, can it just be good already? You know? Like, why am I having to do all this work? Why is it not just perfect yet? This dog is really getting the longest drink of water of all time. Okay. So anyway, I'm sitting here in the living room. And part of my brain is like, you know, it's like 4:30. You're gonna have to start dinner in like 30 minutes. There's no point to like getting started on something because it's already like, you don't have like that much time. But I'm also like, I gotta finish this thing in a month. You really don't have a whole lot of time to waste. I need a plan. I'm just like kind of, I don't know. I guess I'm just feeling, I'm at the beginning of the process. So I'm feeling overwhelmed by like all the stuff to do and the fact that I don't know how to fix certain aspects. I really don't want, I mean, I'm also, of course, like, I don't want to change 10,000 things and rewrite 15 chapters and, you know, all this stuff. This is a lot of work. So I've took the camera out here and I'm chatting about how I don't want to do this. But I do. Like, I do. It'll be fine once I get the plan in place. Okay. Let me go back there and look at it, at least put something in my brain, and then I can think about it while I'm cooking dinner. Let me go see if I can figure out, like, one thing, like, one little bullet point, like, let me figure out how to solve it in 30 minutes. Let's go. All right, here I am. I think actually I'm going to do something different. Still working on this project, okay, I promise. But I have all these bullet points. Here comes Jade. From this. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can, because some of these bullet points are specifically related to like 1 or 2 chapters. So instead of having them in like a giant list, let me transfer them to the individual chapters so that I am not looking at 10,000 things. I think that's also the issue, is I'm just like, ugh, there's so much stuff. All right, so that goes in chapter 1. I'm also relying on my memory to be like what happens in all of these chapters. This is a long book. I also should be trying to reduce word count. I'm just not even going to. Maybe if I don't say anything about word count, like no one will notice. They'll just be like, oh my gosh, the book is so good. And I'll be like, thank you. Don't look at any other metrics. Yeah, she totally called me out on my extreme info dump chapter. I don't know how to do it different. I have a chapter, it's like closing in on the midpoint where the main two characters basically like agree they're going to tell each other things about their past, right? And so it's just a giant info dump, which is not ideal. And I recognized that when I was doing the outline, and I was like, maybe it'll just like not somehow be an info dump. It's an info dump though. It's a 2,600 word info dump. So that needs to be fixed. I'm not sure, like, the issue is he uses his information to sort of like, they're using it as like a trade. You tell me something, I'll tell you something, it'll both benefit us, right? And so, but then they have to tell each other. I just put the note in that chapter. Figure out some other way to relay this information. All right, that cut down my little summary box over here quite a bit, so that's nice. There's another piece of information. This was an issue in the first draft, and I just didn't solve it at all still in the second draft, where we get to a point in the story where there's information that the hero needs regarding things that the heroine is doing. And there's one chapter where she just sort of starts talking to him about it. Like, it's like she's talking to him about it, and it's like he already knows. And there's no point in the book where he's told this information. So that needs to be included somewhere, but I don't know where to include it. Like, it could be anywhere in like Act 2, you know? So I'm going to leave that just as a little note off to the side here and not put it in a chapter yet because I don't know where to put it.
Look at this little dog. Jade, what have you got on your ear? You got something on your ear? Do you need a snack? You do. Hold on.
All right, I guess that's it for today. I did my little note organization. I've reduced the number of things I have to look at overall. So that's good. We'll try to do some brainstorming, I guess, tomorrow morning. Wish me luck. Look, I'm one of the cool girls now. I have a fun coffee drink. I made it all by myself. It's just cold brew. I learned to make cold brew. It's not that hard. And then I put milk in it and a little bit of sweetener, and that's my drink. Do you like it? Am I cool? And look at my cute glass. Isn't that also cute? All right, anyway, I do have a coffee drink. I'm really hoping, my biggest hope with the coffee drink is that it will spur ideas, because I have none. I need a different aspect for this backstory for one of the characters to make it like more compelling. And I'm really blanking on all of anything. So, hi, welcome back. It's Wednesday, my dudes, and we're exactly halfway through the month. It's the 15th. I did think of a potential shift in the backstory for the heroine, which I'm kind of liking, I think. So I just need something different for the hero, and I'm really struggling to come up with something. I have tried pacing. I have a voice memo going that I paused. It's at 17 minutes at the moment, and I'm pretty confident that like 4/5 of it is just silence, where I'm just like sitting with it like this, and I'm just thinking of nothing in particular. So anyway, for some reason I'm like zeroing in on this one little note as like the key to unlocking things, and maybe it is and maybe it isn't. It somehow feels important to me to like figure this one out first. So that's what I'm trying to do. Join me while I pace and try to think of something better than what's currently in this draft.
They both need to have dirt on each other. I feel like maybe not. What else could there be? Maybe not. What else could there be? But he's really like manipulative and duplicitous. Duplicitous? What a great word. Ooh, that might work. And then the orangery scene could be them realizing together, like, wait a minute. Okay, wait, what if? I keep coming up with like ideas where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is maybe it. And then I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Does that make any sense? Why would she do that? That doesn't make any sense. This just doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense, girl. Come on now. I'm still thinking, okay, wait, maybe I feel like this could maybe work. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I mean, they are young and stupid. So, maybe. Maybe that. Does that work? I don't know. I don't like that. I don't want to get into that. I feel like that just takes things a weird direction. I don't know. Oh my gosh. I don't know. What else could there be? How do we work this out? Okay. Like, if he knowed, good job. Nahan, do you have any ideas? No? Okay. So what could he have done that is not a good thing, but also isn't so terrible that, like, the reader's gonna hate him? Why do we have so many ants in my house? What is this? I like how Nahan runs away when there's a bug. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like this is important to figure out somehow. I mean, it is. What information would he have? Okay, back again. Think of something really good. Think of something good. Okay, wait. And why what's his motive? He needs a motive for why he's doing all this nastiness. Which is actually true. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. And it turns out to be true. He is just, like, she basically tells on herself. He's like, ew, don't do that. He's just gross. All right, it's me. I'm back. It is Thursday, the 16th. And if I want to have this video ready for you on Friday at 9 in the morning, for my time at least, I better wrap this thing up. As you can see, I spent most of yesterday just walking around my house and talking out loud in all sorts of various places, doing all sorts of various activities. I do think I came up with a slightly better idea, ? I sent a janky summary of it all to my critique partner, and I was like, do you think this works? So we'll see what she thinks. Hopefully she'll be like, wow, this is the best idea I've ever heard in my entire life. Or if she has some suggestions to tweak it, all ears. I do think it works better. It has a few other like story implications that I'll have to change some things around, but I don't think it should be anything like super major. We'll see, I guess. And that is in fact only one of the massive list of things I'm supposed to be figuring out over here. And I'm supposed to be working on chapter 1 tomorrow. So I'm not sure if that's realistic or not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But for this vlog, I do need to be done with it so that I can actually, edit it and get it up. In addition to, all this other stuff I've got to do. Leave me a little 4-leaf clover for luck in the comments, because I could certainly use some to think up more ideas and actually finish this in the next month. So we'll see how all that goes. Once again, if you would like to see fun information sooner than anyone else, you need to sign up for my newsletter. The link for that is in the description. If you liked this video, you can give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, you can click the subscribe button like you can for, pretty much any other YouTube video as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!